Hello and welcome to my channel. A sister in this video says no to paying tax in 2024. Now, according to her, she says she's not going to let her tax money fund a G-side. She further talks about how the US government doesn't have money to help her pay off her college debt, money to make sure everybody can have their basic needs met, clean water, and the education system, which is still trash. Here is a clip of her video.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm not paying taxes in 2024 because what you're not about to do is use my tax money to fund a genocide. Absolutely not. You don't have money to help me pay off my college debt. You don't have money to make sure everybody can have their basic needs met. Flint, Michigan still does not have clean water. Our education system is trash. You do not pay teachers. I could go on. But you have $14.5 billion to fund a genocide of my money? No. No. The answer is no.
Despite America funding the Israel versus Palestine war, the country has its own challenges, and people are complaining to say instead of using that money to better quite a number of things people are complaining about in the country, they would rather fund a war. There has been complaints of inflation, this leading to very high cost of living standards, people having to pay handsomely just for a proper Medicare, and yet people's tax money is used to fund a war and not bettering their lives. Let's hear what others had to say about this in this number of stitches, and when I come back we break it down and talk more about it. Here are the clips.
2024.
I have seen a lot of videos like this and I absolutely love them. It's typically about our taxes and the student loans. And quite a while ago, I saw a creator on here say, realistically, if we were all to stop paying our taxes, if we were all to stop paying our student loans, all of the banks across America would essentially fall. And even if it was just like maybe like 4 million of us, right? Like there are enough of us that could actively crash the banking system here in America. And it's honestly just about getting on one accord, right? Because if we all don't pay our taxes, they can't come all after us all at once. It's just impossible. They can't go after the IRS doesn't have the budget to go after a whole bunch of people, like 3 million plus people who don't pay their taxes. They don't have the funding to do that anyway, right? Our government isn't funding them anyway. And the same thing with the banks for student loans. They wouldn't have enough money or resources to go after all of the people who've decided not to pay back their loans. So I'm just saying, like, spread the word. Yeah. Spread the word. Spread the word. We ain't paying.
2024, because what?
I have been talking about this for years. If we can get a quarter of 400 million people to say the government, they don't have enough space in prison for all of us. They don't have enough government employees to start garnishing all of our wages. Our tax dollars, your tax dollars, fund genocide while we have what? The shittiest first world healthcare system and education system. The worst. So I don't know, y'all. I mean, I've been to jail, so you say you want a revolution. Well,
I've seen some people on here start to talk about a tax strike in 2024. And while I understand, because, you know, we don't like the fact that our tax dollars are literally funding genocide, I just want to know that if we are successful in doing that it won't backfire, because like the US is already defunding like arts and education and a lot of things like that, and our taxes also pay for that stuff too. So I'm just like hesitant, because if we don't pay taxes, maybe they just go, well, no more Department of Education. Well, now we have to like like invest more money in oil because now we don't have it or something like that. Like, I'm just not 100% convinced that not paying taxes is going to have the impact that we want it to. Yeah, so I'm not opposed to the idea. I just want, I guess, to see more thought on it so we can make sure that it's like targeted and not just, and that it doesn't come back to bite us.
Hey, I just say that I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this topic and speak on this topic, but I want to nominate myself as the spokesperson where we could come get the information from. Because one thing I'm going to do is get some information when everybody say what we ain't going to do. And what we ain't going to do is fun side in 2023. So far, I've been looking on content creators' posts who've been talking about this tax strike for literally months. And we've all decided that no one should be paying taxes in 2024. This upcoming tax season, do not pay any taxes. If you've already been having taxes taken out of your check throughout the year, it is okay to file to get your taxes back, but do not pay if you have been exempt from taxes taken out of your check. There was supposed to be a rent strike that happened at the beginning of this inflation period that did not happen because a lot of people felt like they didn't want to be the only one not paying their rent and get evicted. And honestly, I can't be mad at that. But what I will say is we don't need that many people to collectively be behind this idea for this tax strike to happen. Even if a few of us weren't paying our rent, they would still feel it. Don't fall for the trap. Don't listen to anyone telling you it's not going to work. Just keep talking, keep sharing, keep engaging with this topic so that we can all get the word out. If you all want me to keep making videos on this topic to keep y'all informed, let me know and I definitely will do that.
Taxes in 2024 because what?
No, seriously, let's talk about it. Because this country was essentially founded on taxation without representation. Hence why people revolt and do tax strikes. But I think it's crazy that like today, if you try that same thing, jail time. Taxes as a whole are just a very tedious process, a very pointless process. And most notably, our dollars are not coming back to us. It's going to harm other people. So I also am not paying my taxes this year. I've already made the plan. I'm not doing it. I would rather go to jail for the rest of my life than give another cent to a government who does not care about me or my people. Like, I refuse. And I encourage you all to file exempt, file for extensions, or just don't pay taxes. Because this is taxation without representation. And frankly, it's just gross to use my money to harm other people instead of help people like me. It's pretty straightforward.
First of all, my name is Atia Brown. I'm the owner of Savvy Accountant Firm, which is a full-service CPA firm. I'm licensed in Canada and in the US, and so when it comes to taxes, I know a little bit about it. I would not do what they're suggesting here. I understand that the whole Palestine-Israel thing is causing angst, and nobody wants to be a part of something that they don't agree with. But not paying your taxes is not going to help that situation. The government is still going to send the billions of dollars that they're planning on sending. This is not going to do that. What this is going to do is give the taxpayer an issue. So you need to make sure that you're speaking to your representatives, state, Senate, all of that good stuff, because those are the people that represent your voice, and that's the best way that you can get your tax dollars to go where you want them to go. If you adjust your W-4 and have no withholdings, then when it comes time to file your taxes, you're going to have penalties and interest on top of it, and that's going to be on you to pay. You not paying your taxes is not going to stop the government from sending the money to Israel in that Palestine conflict. My suggestion is for you to figure out who your representatives are and reach out to them because they represent your voice. Do not withhold your taxes and plan on not paying your taxes. I think this is a bad idea. What are your thoughts?
See, this is what y'all don't understand. Yeah, they may eventually catch up to us, but we write them back, one. And then two, if they decide that they don't care what we say, they're going to garnish our wages and we're going to pay these taxes whether we like it or not, then, and only then, because it makes more sense, do we strike our jobs. The strike didn't work before because no one has a real good reason to do so. Why punish ourselves? Why punish our jobs? What did they do? Like, we need the money right now. Which is why we're taking a stand, because this is our money. And if they threaten to continue to take that money, then we strike our jobs. I mean, y'all are obviously just not getting it because you keep saying things like this. Like, we know that they will eventually catch up with us. Or we think. We don't know for certain, but more than likely they will. And that's when we write back. And then depending on the choice that they make, whether they want to work with us or work against us, then we go into phase 2. It's pretty simple, y'all, and y'all are making it a lot harder than it should be.
Okay, so we're all starting to talk about not paying our taxes, right? While we're having this conversation, I just want to remind you guys about the Pentagon losing like 3 to 8 billion, roughly $1 trillion in the last couple of years. Now, obviously that money was laundered, most of it. It was probably sent offshore in some strange international deals with countries that are pretend rivals. And then the rest of it, I would assume the government squirreled away for a time like this. Because here's the thing, you guys can always say you're not going to pay your taxes. So the government is obviously not stupid and they have to be prepared for that. I would be shocked if they weren't prepared for that. So I know that they have this money somewhere. So I want you to remember during the past couple of years in COVID, like they kind of proved that they don't need us to all be working as much as we do. This does not mean I'm saying pay your taxes. Like, don't. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Just because it won't sweepingly work in one round does not mean it's not effective, right? I've said it before, I believe in chaos, and I think it's a very chaotic, bizarre type of solution to come up with. I think it will be very effective in certain ways, but it won't stop what's happening right now because they already have your money. They have generations of people's money that they're probably holding on to. Also, you guys, we don't own the means of production. We don't own anything. We literally beg people to give us food and water. So until you have community, these types of things of not paying your taxes, not going to work and stuff like that, they won't work because you have no other place to go in the meantime. Also, while we're thinking about like destroying this society as it exists, we have to start planning and putting the foundations down for the places that we want to go. Otherwise, we're standing in the rubble of other people's terrible ideas and their mistakes. If you don't have a community garden and I'm in the government, I'm just looking at you like, cool, you'll be back because you need food. I'll see you at the grocery store. Oh, you pissed me off? I'm going to turn off your water. You say, oh, the government wouldn't do that. Our ally does that to its enemies. And when you become the enemy of the government, they are going to do the same things to you. The situation as it is stands, and it seems like this is going to be going on for quite some time now. I'm also sensing some larger shenanigan is going on here. It's really important that we start laying these foundations now because this will happen again and again. It's the reason why we've never been able to like leave this system is because we don't have our own. And I've said it before that we should like ignore capitalism and ignore the system we're in. And I mean that. Figuring out how to wiggle out of a very stupid, foolish system is not something I want to spend my time on. I just want to start making the new things that I want to see and go to them and just operate there. There's a certain like fear-basedness in looking at what we have right now because it's so nonsensical that it's sort of a waste of time to like theorize and think peace about how complicated it is. It's not. It's just a bunch of evil people doing a lot of really bad things to a lot of people who have much more power than they realize. Also, while I have you, I wanted to show you this. The House, I believe, voted on this to send funding to Israel. But see this part? It would cut IRS funding. Why at a time when everyone's saying they're not going to pay their taxes or half the society is getting to that point, the Republican Party further trying to gut the IRS, who's already down bad. They can continue to give like tax breaks to their wealthy friends, who the IRS is now pretending they're going after. Also the tax system. They will go after you or me for like $300. Like, where's my money? But not go to a corporation that literally makes billions of dollars a year and just get the million in one fell swoop. It's not, what? The inefficiency of the whole IRS. This is like another... I just am like, this is not a reality because it's too unbelievable. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the only Republicans that did not vote yes to that bill, which also makes me think these people have to be actors, no? Because that woman is absolutely absurd. But of course, in this one case, she's like, yes, she's making a lot of sense. And then I know like Dean Phillips ran last week as a Democrat. I should make a video on that. And the guy's like, he looks good, it looks good. And then he's like, oh, but I love the police. And it's like, I'm sorry, what is going on here? Why are none of these people like can follow just a through line that makes sense? Anyways, yes, we are getting taxation without representation, but you guys, there's a lot of other things you have to do. And I'm just saying, I agree, we're not going to pay taxes, but well, they already take it out of your check. So, babe, I don't know how you're going to get around that. Everyone's just claiming exempt, even though your HR person is going to be like, wait, you're going to work like 50 hours a week because you'll need to stay alive. Anyways, round up your friends and your neighbors. It's time because they're not going to let you out, babe. Not letting us go easy. But we can slither out. It won't be that hard, actually. Do it on the low, just leave. Suddenly we're doing amazing things and we don't need this anymore. You can have your weird stuff back. I need to thanks. I have well water. We have food. We're educating our own children. Thank you. Goodbye.
Don't pay your taxes next year. Keep the BDS boycotts going. They're working, but at the same time, American tax dollars are constantly being funneled into the Israel apartheid regime and the IOF forces. And I cannot sit by and condone this. I know others cannot sit by and condone this. I'm not the only one saying this. Tax strike. It's time for a tax strike. I'm doing it. I've got people on board. I'm reaching out to as many people as I can. I'll post updates on here when I can. I'm not a great speaker. I'm not a great organizer, but I'm just trying to get this ball rolling along with some other people. More to come in the future.
Dear America, I've never been more angry in my life. This country just approved more money for Israel. You know what they just did? Another hospital in Palestine. Kill innocent civilians. This country does not represent its citizens. And the only language it understands is money. So those taxes you're giving out to your federal government now, take it back. Change your elections. At work, talk to HR. That money belongs to you. It does not belong to this government that doesn't know what to do with it anyway. The American Revolution started. No taxation without representation. We aren't represented anymore. So why do they deserve fucking taxes?
The US currently has 7 federal income tax brackets with rates of 10, 12, 22, 24, 32, 35, and 37%. In the US, income is taxed progressively with higher tax brackets than in most other nations. Not all income is treated equally, as the more you make, the higher percentage you end up contributing in taxes. All brackets work on a taxable income basis, not necessarily the actual amount of money earned in a given year. Now, the federal government collects revenue from a variety of sources, including individual income taxes, payroll taxes, corporate income taxes, and excise taxes. It also collects revenue from services like admission to national parks and customs duties. Now, the federal government spending is supposed to pay for everything from Social Security and Medicare to military equipment, highway maintenance, education, and more. Here's how tax money should be spent. Number 1, defense. Approximately 20% of the federal budget is spent on defense and security. Most of that 20% is for the Department of Defense, which covers the cost of military operations, troop training, equipment, and weapon research. Defense and security spending includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security and the Transportation Security Administration. Number 2, security. Now, Social Security accounts for roughly 20% of the budget. It provides benefits to workers who have paid into the system and reached an established retirement age. Additionally, Social Security pays benefits to disabled workers who can no longer work or have limited income or resources. It also pays survival benefits to the spouses and children of workers who have been unalived. Thirdly, healthcare. Medicare, the Children's Health Insurance Program, and Medicaid account for another 20% of the federal budget. Almost 2/3 of the 20% is spent on Medicare. Medicare provides health coverage to qualifying people and those with disabilities that leave them unable to work. The CHIP and Medicaid programs pay health care costs for those who meet low-income guidelines. Number 5, public assistance and interest payment. Now, roughly 14% of the budget provides assistance to families and individuals in need. This includes refundable tax credits, supplemental security income, supplemental nutritional assistance program, low-income housing, and school meals. Additionally, some of the tax money pays interest payments on the national debt, the money borrowed by the federal government to pay its expenses. The remaining part of the budget provides for a variety of programs such as benefits for retired veterans and federal employees, investments in scientific and medical research, international aid, and infrastructure such as federal roads and airports. But why do people still complain about a lot of things that their tax money should be paying for and improving? Let's take a look at a few comments from people and hear what they had to say about this video. The first comment reads, "We need to organize this because you are absolutely right. I tried filing exempt last year. I got an IRS letter last week threatening to take my paycheck if I don't pay them all of it back. Don't do it. Tax avoidance is completely legal. They don't even have money to fix the roads. I say we all completely stop paying taxes, student loans, and everything else. I'm done. Seriously, like, we are starving, need healthcare, and they just don't give it. I'm not buying anything at essentials and from local businesses as much as I can. Gifts for Christmas this year will be handmade or from small businesses. I can't wait to see the news or the news article or segment talking about how millions of Americans have stopped paying taxes. All right, guys, we've come to the end of the video, and the comments are just proving that a sister is not the only one thinking of this. What do you have to say about this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.